What's good, y'all? Quick video. First off, I want to thank those of you that have donated to my Patreon. I'm going to have some exclusive content coming for y'all, post-game wrap-ups and some other cool stuff coming, so I appreciate that. If you haven't already, check out the donation link at the bottom. Anyway, the topic of this video is Matt Barnes. I feel like I got to touch on, what's happened here, man. I mean, KD obviously going down. We signed Matt Barnes, and the Cavs getting stronger in the East. First off, let's talk about Matt Barnes. Many of you, he's been in the league for so long. I know most of you are familiar with his skill set and what he brings to the table. First and foremost, the intangibles. You saw in a previous video, I talked about possibly picking him up and how he compares to Draymond kind of in those intangibles, the toughness, the grit, and just the things that don't show up in the stat sheet. Now, apparently he's gonna be filling right in at small forward for KD. And he's obviously not going to protect the rim like KD. He doesn't have that length or size. He's not a shot blocker, but he is probably a better positional rebounder, meaning like he's going to box out basically better. He's got a lower center of gravity, and he's a little bit stronger. He's been rebounding well, and now his 3-point percentage. You look, he's played 25 minutes per game in Sacramento this year, and his 3-point percentage is all the way down to 32%. He's shooting like in the low at 38% from the field. So the shooting hasn't been there. His legs have left him a little bit, but he still plays hard. He still defends. And I will say this about him. This isn't really about him, filling in for KD. I more look at it as like he's a Harrison Barnes replacement at this point. We're going to kind of go back to that strategy. And now Barnes is shooting well over 40%. He's having a nice year in Dallas and all that. I will say this though, end of the game, fourth quarter, under 2 minutes, the ball gets swung to the corner. Who would you rather have? Harrison Barnes, who's shooting like 42% from three, or Matt Barnes, 32% from three, take that shot? I'll take Matt Barnes every time. Call me crazy. That's where you throw the percentages out the window. Matt has always shown the ability. He has that clutch factor. He has the sense of the moment, and he tends to rise to the occasion. So I don't think he's going to, be a prolific three-point shooter or even shoot that much. I think he's averaging like 5 or 6 shots a game this season. He's not going to shoot a whole lot. But in big moments, down the stretches of games, he has shown the ability to hit big shots and make big plays. Another positive is he's averaging 3 assists per game. So he's a better passer than you may think, and that he gets credit for. And one more positive, we all hear how KD doesn't really like to set screens. He's going to be a better screen setter than KD as far as when they put him in that high pick and roll, if they choose to use him that way. I think he'll play more on the weak side. Anyway, don't get it twisted. By no means is he going to fill in for KD adequately as far as the numbers. Like I said, he's not going to score. We're going to have to get that from other ways. Some of these young guys are going to have to step up. But I will say there are some silver linings, man, and I'm intrigued to see, because I do think there is a mentality now that has gone on for about, ever since we won our first championship, we had become, the quote unquote hunted, right? The hunted. And now we've fallen back kind of into the underdog role. Let's be honest. Everybody's talking about Cleveland's the favorite, and honestly, they probably are. They've added a lot of pieces. Darren Williams, and as we know now, Andrew Bogut. Will those guys be around in June as far as in the rotation and healthy? That's remained to be seen. But they're nice pieces, and as of right now, they're probably the favorites. And I'm cool with that right now. I think it's refreshing, and I think the guys are going to enjoy and embrace kind of that underdog role that they once had that gave them that extra fight. Will we see Chef Curry? Will this activate the chef? That's the question now. Like I said, Matt Barnes, it's not going to be, hey, go be KD. It's going to be, hey, go be Harrison Barnes. That's going to, I think, would be the dynamic of the team for the rest of the regular season. Does this activate the 2-time MVP? I have a feeling it might. Now, that said, I do not want to sacrifice health to maintain that number 1 seed. I know this is a subjective topic, obviously, or a controversial topic, I should say. But I do not want to sacrifice our health for that number 1 seed. And what I mean by that is I don't want to break rotations, and I don't want to overexert ourselves the final 2 weeks of the season or so to maintain that. I'm fine with the 2 seed. I'd rather roll in healthy and hitting our stride. That's just my opinion. Looking now at the remaining schedule, I circled about 10 games that are I feel possible losses. Now, you never know. Sacramento or one of these Phoenix, one of these teams can get red hot, and funny things tend to happen at the end of the season where guys are either turning up or turning down. But I circled about 10 games that were potential losses. I'm not saying we're going to lose 10 games. I'm just saying we've got San Antonio a couple times. We've got Washington again. We've got Boston, Atlanta. There's several games that, could possibly be difficult, especially without Kevin Durant. That said, again, let's not play Steph 42 minutes to get some win, at the end of March. Let's just go in healthy and fresh. That's my strategy. A little bit on the Cleveland topic. Man, my previous video, obviously, we wanted Bogut. Cleveland got him. They got Darren Williams as well. You saw him miss a 3-ball to win the game the other night in Boston. So they definitely are stronger. I'm not going to hate it without question. They didn't give up anything to get these guys. And I think Darren Williams in particular will really help that second unit and let LeBron rest. That said, the East is not the cakewalk that it has been in the past. Remember last year, they kind of waltzed all the way to the finals. This year, as we know, you saw Washington the other night. Washington is legit and getting better each day. Obviously, Boston has the best on-ball defenders on the perimeter in the NBA. That's not going to be a cakewalk. Toronto, unfortunately, Lowry is out, but he possibly could return for the playoffs. Well, depending how the seeding and matchups fall, they could catch a fully recovering Toronto team as well. So Cleveland is better, but their path is not as easy to get to us. In the West, Houston, San Antonio, like I said, if KD can pace himself, I'm not bringing him back. I know they said regular season, possibly he could come back. I'm not risking it. Now, there is one point to be made, though. It will take him a week or so to get back in basketball shape. Zaza, David West had upper body injuries, right, where they were still able to condition their legs. Kevin will not be able to stay in shape or condition himself, obviously, nursing a knee injury. So let's say he is ready first round of the playoffs. It may take the whole first round for him to get his legs under him. That said, I don't agree with bringing him back regular season unless it's in spot minutes to let him find his legs. But other than that, man, we'll be back. What do we got? Chicago tonight, the debut of Matt Barnes. Apparently Steve Kerr a little under the weather, but I expect a very turned up and motivated Warriors team and perhaps a Chef Curry sighting tonight. That's it for now. I'm out, y'all.